Broadcasting from a galaxy not so far away, this is Inalienable Rights, the podcast that will take you on a journey across continents from North America to Africa to the Caribbean and back again. The Steward family will share their stories and all they've learned about life, faith, and the pursuit of medicine.
Hello, our fellow aliens. Welcome back to the Inalienable Rights podcast. I am Justin.
And I'm Alyssa.
And we are so happy that you are still here listening to us after all of this time.
So, we're just going to start right in.
Yeah, so things have changed.
So, it's so funny because I have gotten a couple messages from people, and they're like, they saw my stories on Instagram, and they're like, wait a second, you're in New York.
I thought you were going to Ohio.
Oh, yeah. So, and so I did, on my own personal Instagram, did do a little brief update. So some people are already kind of aware of what happened, but we just wanted to kind of catch you up on that and talk about maybe our kind of feelings about leaving Barbados and last few days and kind of sum that all up, wrap that all up. Yeah.
So we are currently in Western New York, where it is kind of gloomy and rainy, and it feels very cold to us. Even though, as a good Western New Yorker, I would probably say it's average spring weather being 50s and 60 degrees.
Yeah.
But after nearly 2 years of 85 plus every day, day and night, it feels cold to us.
It feels cold.
And our dog has to wear a sweater.
It feels very cold. Yeah. So that has been an adjustment. And yeah, the gloominess. I know Western New York is gloomy. I knew that before. And last summer when I was home, I remember that when we were here for 6 weeks, and then coming back here, it's just like, it just hit so hard. Like, oh yeah, I forgot that 75% of the year it's gloomy and rainy here.
And it's not just like the natural element, but there also feels to be like almost like a depressing, oppressive, spiritual
it feels
atmosphere
so
here,
depressed here. Like
which
even
is
going
weird.
to Walmart, everybody just looks so depressed. And it could be like a natural thing too, because they aren't getting the vitamin D that they need.
Yes.
So that's a real thing too.
But we are also hope to bring some kind of a spiritual spark to the...
Don't need to rock on the couch.
spiritual spark to the world, you know? But so how did it all happen? Like, how did we end up here? Like, just 2 weeks ago or, 2 episodes ago, we were talking all about our plans. We're going to Ohio. Alyssa's got a job. And, well, this is what happened.
The short story is that there was a delay in getting our car in Canada to the mechanic. And when it finally got to the mechanic... It
literally died on the way to the mechanic.
When it finally got to the mechanic, it was determined that it would need quite a significant amount of dollars to get it running. And we just thought with the age of the car, like, that didn't make a lot of sense. But also, we found this out with 6 days before we flew out. So it was just like we kind of were pushed into a really rushed decision of what are we going to do? Well, now we don't have a car to get down to Ohio.
Drive to Ohio.
Yeah. So it's either buy something sight unseen in those 6 days or change the plan. So. And we talked about several options. We even talked about renting a car because we were flying into Toronto, Canada and driving down. But we talked about renting a car and even just to rent a car for 2 days to go across the border.
It was ridiculous.
It was going to be like $600 US. And like, that's insanity for 2 days of driving. So we just kind of talked about all the options and none of them made sense. Really.
And in order to buy a car, we needed to have money to buy a car, which means that we should not be paying to stay in an Airbnb in Ohio. So we need that money to buy a car.
Right. So if our money was going to be wrapped up into our Airbnb, our 3 months of our Airbnb that we had committed to, our money was going to be tied up in that. And if it was tied up in that, then it wasn't buying us a car. Mm-hmm. And the only reason now all this was also in light of the fact, and I think we shared this last episode, or the one we did, I guess by the time you're watching this will be 2 episodes ago. But we shared that the Ohio clinical site had closed down. It had shut down.
Right.
So now in light of the fact, and we had still decided to go through, at that point, we already had a job in Ohio lined up and all the things. And so
But we
we
knew
were
it was
still
going
going
to
to go there
temporary.
and just, we were just going to be temporarily there. But now, in light of not only the site closing, but now also we don't have a vehicle to get there and to drive around, and etc. We're just like, okay, this plan doesn't seem to make that much sense anymore.
And my parents are very, very kind. They've been very good to us over the years, my whole life, obviously. But they have an apartment above their house that is vacant, and they said that we could come and stay here. It wouldn't cost us anything, but that we couldn't bring 4 animals with us, which is one of the reasons we were going to Ohio in the first place, because we had 2
we had planned to bring
kitties,
2 puppies and
2 puppies cats that we had acquired in Barbados. So they did agree to let us come with 1. So that meant we had also, in our last 6 days, we had to find an alternative solution for our animals,
which was just kind of such a headache. It made our last week there extremely stressful, having to make these decisions and try to find a solution and all the things. And like, it was hard. It was really hard.
And then our car's engine light came on too.
Yeah, in Barbados.
In Barbados at the 2 or 3 days before, and somebody had already bought it, and so we made plans with them to, look, we'll help you, we'll pay for it, to whatever needs to be done. It was a kind of a fluke thing. We hit a bump on the road, and it just like shook it so hard that the light came on.
I don't know if that's what it actually was. I don't know for sure if it was the bump that did it or if it just was coincidental. Like, it's hard to know. But regardless, that was like, 2 days before we flew out. And it was just like, just felt like one thing after another. But yeah, those days were stressful. So all that to say, our plan completely changed. We're now in Western New York instead of Ohio. I have to turn down my job. I haven't actually officially done that because I'm obviously not going to Ohio to start working. We've got 1 dog, 1 animal here instead of 4. And Justin, one thing we didn't actually announce on here is that Justin did pass his comp exam.
I passed my comp exam on the first try.
Yes, so that was super exciting. Such a relief.
So that means we'll be here a little bit less time than could have been possible. So, but now we're just waiting for the school to confirm, and then I can schedule and take the Step 1 United States Medical Licensing Exam, which I have to pass before I can start clinicals and before I know where my clinicals will be. So that's why we're just hanging out here in limbo.
Hopefully by the time this airs, we will have found out when he's actually writing Step 1, and maybe we'll like add in a little banner or something if we can update that. But yeah, so we have to wait and figure out what's happening and where we're going.
But in the journey of faith, though, we can say that even though this seems crazy, we have seen over our life that God has always been faithful. He's always taken care of us. He's always guided. He's always directed. Everything has always worked out. And he's
just trusting in that and trusting that.
Well, we don't like it, honestly.
No.
This is not what we wanted. This isn't our plan.
It is so hard. Like, let's talk real talk. Like, it is so hard being in limbo. And even one of my children said that to me last night. They were like, they made the comment that they feel like fenced in here. And I'm like, well, we are kind of fenced in. We're in a space that's not ours. It's not our house. It's not our home. It's not our stuff. Our stuff is still mostly packed except for a few clothes. Like, we're not... the house is not empty. It's full of his parents' things. And as much as
we appreciate their kindness, it's just not ours.
It's not ours. So there is some like level of transition, but you're still in limbo, and you all feel it, and you all obviously his parents are living here, and so we have to also think of them and try to be respectful of them and their space and etc.
And they don't have little kids anymore, so it's frustrating for them sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Kids are leaving the doors open,
understandably
or the dog's pooping in my dad's shop. Those
that never happened.
Are driving my dad crazy, and I do feel bad.
So it's a whole process of trying to cohabitate together, and all the while, the feelings of us being in limbo. It's not that we're here. I feel like we probably would feel similar ways in Ohio too, or anywhere, because it's limbo. It's like, I know we're not settling here. Like, this is for sure not our final destination. So it's hard. It's just hard kind of being in that middle place and just trying to like, and it's hard like feeling it myself and then my child saying it and me having to like try to talk to him about it when it's like, I understand, I feel the same way. Like it's hard and just like, we just have to try to.
And in the meantime, I still have to stay motivated to study to try to take this exam, but yet I'm in a new place too. Like this isn't where I've been studying for the last 2 years. I actually got pretty comfortable in Barbados in my study space and even at school. So now I'm in a whole new place, a whole new space, and all new surroundings. Just it's hard to stay motivated to study and get ready for this exam when I wish I could just take it like now, but I gotta wait for the school to clear me. So
so it's just a hard place to be in. Do we want to talk about kind of recap our last few days in Barbados?
Sure. What do you want to say?
Well, I did kind of already mention, obviously, that last week was super stressful because of that whole situation with the vehicle and trying
we should reflect though too on just how Barbados was a really great experience for us.
Yeah, and that's what we wanted to say, like overall, like how we felt about it and stuff.
And just like a little case in point, I think we've talked before just about the blessing that we felt being a part of that church, the living room in Barbados. And like before we left, they planned this like big celebration. They went down to the yacht club, which is like a private club on the beach, right in Barbados, right on the beach. And the whole church came out. We had like food and cake, and they loved us and celebrated us going. And then the next day in church, they had us all come up and they like prayed for us and they told us how much they're going to miss us. And they prayed and like prophesied over our kids. And it was just such like a capstone of what a beautiful and wonderful experience we had there. And it also just made it really hard to go. And perhaps the contrast of showing up in gloomy Western New York was not lost on me. But maybe that's what it's made it harder. Like we're not trying to put down Western New York. We love a lot of people here, a lot of friends. My family's here.
Hard.
But we just had such a good experience.
I think that's the thing, and I want to say like we seem to be the exception. I feel like if you talk to most of Justin's classmates, they could not wait to leave.
Yeah, they could not wait to get out of there.
They were happy to get out. They didn't love it. The island experience, and even the other families and stuff, a lot of them don't necessarily love the island experience. So I just want to say that in case somebody's watching and they're thinking about it, like, let's be real. Like, if we're totally honest, we are probably more I'm not saying we're the only ones that love the experience. I'm just saying we're more the exception than the rule.
Yeah, and perhaps just to balance it out. I mean, groceries are really expensive.
Sure.
Gas is insane, and it is hot. Like, there's a certain period of time entering right now where it's almost unbearably hot.
Let's not,
So we don't want to sugarcoat the whole experience.
But I think for us, like, everybody has their own perspective, and that's the way that they felt and the way that they've lived in that time, right, in that period of time, and it can be different for every person. And so I think I said it in church, to the living room church, on that Sunday when we left. I just said, like, I feel so enriched from the church experience there for sure. But overall, the entire experience, I felt such a lot of personal growth, a lot of like spiritual growth,
just
a lot of healing, like inner healing and stuff that happened there. And I just feel like a different person than when I left. And I feel like the experience just, enriched. It's just
encouraged, strengthened.
It just was so full. I felt
blessed.
So full. I came away full. Yeah. And I think that was just
so now we got to bring that to Western New York.
So good. So it just made it so hard to leave. Like, it was just like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to be somewhere else. I want to be there. I want to be with the community and the village that I had there. And I think that makes it hard to come home. And yeah, you do definitely leave a little bit of your heart behind. There's no question.
And we had to pack up a whole house worth of stuff.
Yeah.
And we had said in a previous episode we were coming with 5 suitcases.
I said my goal was 5.
We got 7, so we were pretty
7.
close.
I feel like we did really well. We left United States 2 years ago with 10 suitcases.
So we're coming back with less than we
So we did bring probably a little bit home last summer. Maybe
that's true.
Not a lot, but maybe another suitcase or 2. So I don't know.
So we came back full in here. but we left a few
Yeah.
We shed a few belongings while
We
we
definitely
were there.
did, but we didn't bring home too crazy much. So we did well.
But it was stressful packing up the house, and because I took my exam on a Friday, and our flight was leaving on Tuesday. So I wasn't fully involved in the packing process up until that point. So Alyssa did a lot, and her mom helped. She came and stayed with us for a week. They did a lot, but that last few days from Saturday,
there was a lot
I mean
of
Saturday,
there was a lot.
Friday night and Saturday we kind of relaxed a little bit, and that was Saturday.
Well, no, we actually did pack up Friday night. We definitely packed up, you and I. Friday night we did some packing, and then I think Saturday night too.
We had some friends come over Friday after the exam. We swam in the pool and
maybe we
like
didn't
that.
then
So
Friday.
I don't know if we packed up that night.
Maybe it was Saturday night.
It was Saturday, I think, after the beach day.
Yeah.
We did, so
it was a lot to kind of wrap up, and I think, and it's hard because it's not just the physical act, you're feeling the emotions of all of that during the time, and like, it's hard.
It's totally lightning bulb moment here, but we didn't explain the solution for the other animals.
Oh no, we did not explain the solution.
We didn't come home with 4 animals, but God provided a solution.
We did, yeah. So the people that were moving into the house that we rented there, they were Ross and another Ross family, an incoming Ross
just
family.
coming in. Yeah.
So they're starting semester 1 here shortly. And they, seemed like a really nice family with 2 little kids. And she saw my different posts in their group looking for homes for these animals, and she just said, well, like, you can leave the animals there if you want. And so then it kind of hit us like, hey, if she's okay with us leaving the animals, maybe we can actually get them back later.
Yeah.
So that's our current plan. We went and stocked up right before we left a big bag of food for cats and for dogs and cat litter and stuff. So hopefully they should be set for a couple months. But our thought was, and we don't have this all planned out yet, but either maybe one of us will fly back and get the animals, or we'll have somebody ship them or something once we're settled into wherever our clinical location is.
It makes one less transition for the animals because they actually get to stay in the same house.
They get to stay in the same house,
they've been
which
living
is
in since we
super nice for them.
Since we moved them,
So then they just transition to the clinical site, and hopefully it'll all go well. But yeah, so that was the solution, which was good. We got to meet them. They came over on Sunday afternoon before we left, and got to meet the animals briefly and kind of see the place and stuff. So it was good. But
and they seem like nice people. They'll take good care of them, and if they're not, well, maybe they'll watch this episode and they'll want to be good for our animals.
No, I just it'll be good. And I think Claudia, our neighbor, is keeping an eye out for him too. So,
we miss the pool, we miss the heat, miss the warmth, we miss the people, we miss Barbados. Maybe someday we'll go back.
Who knows? But in other news,
is there other news?
A slight update. We got some new lighting for our podcast video.
I'm sure everybody noticed how much better our video is.
They probably, I don't know, I feel like I noticed.
Especially all the listeners on Spotify.
I'm sure, listen, we are not videographers or any kind of professionals like that, obviously. I know I've said that before, but I just wanted to set that disclaimer. But we did get these new lights that
we have a friend, Jarrett, who gave us some tips on
maybe we'll fiddle with them a little bit.
And videography.
But at least I feel like it feels better. The picture feels
makes
clear.
My face feel warmer, that's for sure. Look warmer.
Oh, look warmer. Okay. I was like, they're not heat lamps.
I think that's it.
But yeah, that might be it. So, anyways, if you're still watching, still listening, thank you so much.
Thank you
for doing so. We will be back next time with probably more of a, I don't want to say structured episode, but maybe a little bit more structured.
We also have another interview that we're going to post soon,
I don't know how soon that's going to be, but yeah, we're going to post another interview.
More stories of other people's pursuit of medicine.
But yeah, we're probably also going to go back and talk a little bit more about the actual med school.
Yeah, the medical
stuff.
school
So
experience.
that's on the agenda to come too. But we're also just trying to keep these updates coming with our kind of journey live as it happens too. So
and please ask us questions. Send us messages. Tell us what you want to hear about. If you want to hear more about Ross and more about Barbados.
Yeah, we're happy to oblige.
More about clinicals, more about faith, whatever it is, just let us know.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you again soon.
And send us pictures of aliens. See you next time.
We can get that part out.
Thank you for listening to the Inalienable Rights podcast. You can find Justin and Alyssa on Instagram at Inalienable Rights Podcast and email them at inalienablerightspodcast@gmail.com with any questions or topics you want them to discuss in the future. See you on the other side of the wormhole.